I want to talk about things that I think matter. I've always liked doing things by myself. I haven't had the energy to do anything or even want to be around people. Feel really shitty or like guilty sometimes. I'm questioning like, oh God, is this like depression? What is this? I don't know. I love cartoons. Okay, what beliefs, what thoughts am I holding on to that no longer serve me? I want my channel to be a safe space. Let's chat. The last 3 or 4 days, I've just been feeling so unmotivated, uninspired, lazy, and I haven't had the energy to do anything or even want to be around people. And last night I went out, a friend hit me up and was like, hey, do you want to go to dinner tonight? And I'm like, ugh. Do I really feel like being around people? I was like, you know what? I got to get outside. So I said, why not? Sure, I'll go to dinner. We made a reservation, went out, and I'm so glad that I did. So much fun, lots of laughs, good food, good drinks. And sometimes that's what I need. And sometimes I think that's what we all need, right? With one caveat. I will say it depends on who's asking. Like, who the person is or people are that you're going to be around. When you're in such a vulnerable space, like a sensitive space where you're not feeling your best self, I think it's important to be around people who tap into that other side of you, as opposed to people that would draw out more of that icky feeling, you know? So yeah, it did a lot for my overall attitude. And yesterday I was actually feeling a lot better than I had in the previous days. I think that had a lot to do with it too. Otherwise, if they would have asked me to go out the days prior, I would have been like, no, can't do it. So today is Tuesday or Wednesday? Today's Wednesday, the 17th. And even though I wasn't in the mood for this last week, my friend and I had gotten tickets to go to the OC Fair. I'd never been. And when I moved to LA, and I talked about it a bit here, but I made a vow to do things, to do things, to get outside, to meet new people and try new things and see new places and do all the things that I believe one should do when they move to a new place. So I try to make it a habit of staying in the know of what's happening in and around LA that I may be interested in. And it doesn't always have to include a friend. I'm fine with doing things solo. As an only child, I've always liked doing things by myself, whether it's going shopping, going out to eat, going to see a movie, going to an art gallery or museum or whatever it is that I'm in the mood for. I don't like sitting around waiting on people. Sometimes I'll even be out by myself and then a friend will hit me up like, hey, where are you? I'm in the city. And I'm like, oh, I'm in the city too. And then we'll meet up and end up going to dinner together or going for drinks together. So that's usually how I would end up meeting up with someone when I'm already out if I wasn't out with a friend already. But most things that I've done here, I've done by myself. And I've been having a lot of fun with that. But when these times hit where I'm not feeling like myself, I try to be kind to myself. I try not to be too hard on myself, put too much pressure on myself to get up and do anything that I don't want to do. And that's a privilege in and of itself. Having flexibility as it relates to time and financial freedom to whatever extent is a privilege in and of itself. And that's something I'm aware of. I'm so thankful for. I'm able to pick up and do the things that I want to do when I want to do them, or when I don't want to do anything and I simply just want to lay in bed and read a book or catch up on YouTube. Just do a bunch of nothing, that I'm able to do that. Like, I'm thankful that I'm able to do that. I try to make a habit of reminding myself that life ebbs and flows. You know, it's this vast ocean of experiences. And as we continue to grow and evolve, we're going to go through these trials where we feel so disconnected from ourselves, our goals, or something that we're doing, something that we're building. Being inherently a creative individual, determined and ambitious, and one to set quite lofty goals for myself, I feel really shitty or like guilty sometimes when I'm still in a rut after a day. Like, I feel really crappy. I feel like a failure, and I'm questioning, like, oh God, is this like depression? What is this? Like, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling this way? And sometimes it's hormonal. It used to come pretty often, now not as much. I think that I've done a lot of work on myself to not sit in that for too long and know what thoughts are serving me, and just doing a deep dive, an internal inventory, if you will, of, okay, what beliefs, what thoughts am I holding on to that no longer serve me? What thoughts am I thinking in this moment, or have I been habitually thinking lately or over time that just doesn't serve me and isn't indicative of or representative of who I believe myself to be, or who I want to be, how I want to show up to others and in the world. And getting clear about that, writing them down if I need to. Self-awareness is very important to me. So I say whatever practice resonates with you most, honing in on that self-awareness and getting clear about what you are aware of in respect to self and what might be triggering you, or if it comes around a certain time. Like for me, it doesn't hit often. Like I'm not in a rut often. It's usually around my cycle. I'll start feeling it sometimes the week prior, sometimes a day or two prior. I'll know it's coming because the day before I'm a raging maniac. And I don't mean like I'm mean or I'm yelling at people, anything like that. It's more so I have a really short tolerance. Again, that's a level of awareness of knowing, okay, I see why this is showing up in front of me, or I see how I called that into being unintentionally, or what this thing showing up in front of me is coming in response to. It takes a certain level of awareness, and I'm 32 now. I embarked on my self-awareness journey at 22. So it's been a decade of a lot of self-reflection, a lot of honesty with myself, and a lot of reprogramming. Reprogramming is super crucial, but that's a story for another video. I will say that when it comes to being in a rut, however, it's really about taking it day by day and one step at a time, not trying to, again, if you, of course, you have your obligations, be it work, school, kids, whatever. I think that with those variables, it's important to create a system, if you will. Whatever it is you need to do, if you have to go into the bathroom to meditate, if you're at work, if you can go out and sit in your car or find a bathroom stall and just go in there to just catch a breath, to center yourself, get clear, pop in your headphones and listen to a quick meditation on YouTube. I can leave some of my favorite meditations down in the description. Some of the ways that I get myself out of a rut or allow myself to transition out of a rut. There's a few tools that I have in my toolbox. I typically go for what feels best to me, what resonates most with me, depending on the space that I'm in, the type of rut that it is. I journal, I write out my thoughts, what I'm feeling, what I want to feel. Once you write out what you're feeling, you're clear that that's not what you want to feel. But then you want to get clear about what you would like to feel and tap into those feelings. So that's one anecdote. The second one is I'll read. There's certain books or excerpts from books that I've screenshotted and that I've saved in a folder on my phone that I tap into when I just need some reminders, gentle reminders to help like pull me back into where I need to be. I'll do something light but nice for myself. Either go grab lunch somewhere. If I don't feel like going out, I'll order in from one of my favorite places. I'll go out and grab a matcha or go sit at a bar somewhere I like and have a cocktail I know won't disappoint me. I'll go to the bookstore. I love bookstores. I've loved bookstores since I was a little girl. It's like a safe, nostalgic place for me. I discover new books, or sometimes I just skim through art books and magazines just to look at the pretty pictures. I find that it sparks inspiration from time to time. Or if I'm really just in that type of mood where I want to just lay in bed, be mindless, not be in my head too much about what I'm feeling, then I'll do just that. I'll lay in my bed, I'll put on YouTube, go to my watch later list, and just let it play. Or I'll put on my meditation playlist and I'll let that play out and I'll just lay in bed. Sometimes that's what you need to do. You just need to lay down and just do a mindless activity. Even putting on Netflix, putting on a movie or a cartoon. Cartoons always put me in a good mood. I don't know. I love cartoons. Do what feels good in that moment, even if it's not going to solve your worries or whatever it is you're feeling right then and there. It helps. Every little bit helps. And you have to discover, if you haven't already, what those things are, what those anecdotes are that you can keep in your toolbox to help alleviate some, if not all, of the angst, the worry, the melancholy that you're feeling. So now that I'm feeling a little bit better, I'm going to spend the day doing all the things that I had zero energy to do over the weekend and the days prior. Another pointer I'll give is when you have a burst of energy, use it like there's no tomorrow. Like really utilize it and do all the things you can do, because you don't know if a lull is going to come tomorrow or the day after that. In addition to your other life commitments, when you have that ample time and the energy, use it. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to do all those things and more. And I think I'll get some good sleep after. I hope to, at least. This is a change of pace for my usual content. Something that I've been giving some deep thought to lately is what I want to do here on YouTube and how I want to create value. While I love making vlogs and lifestyle content, that's always going to be my first love. But there's times like these where I'm not getting out as much and there's really nothing to see. I'm not doing much at all. And I want to talk about things. I want to talk about things that I think matter, and that those of you out there who are watching or discover my channel might be going through as well and might be able to relate to and not feel alone in the world. There's those of us that are fortunate to have a support system, but we don't always utilize it. Sometimes we retreat, go within, and keep to ourselves and work things out in our own way without sharing. We each have our own unique coping and healing mechanisms. So I want my channel to be a safe space where we can discover and connect and heal and grow, as well as get into the fun stuff. If you've gotten this far in the video, leave a comment down below with a heart or whatever you'd like to share. I hope that this video resonated with you in some way, and I'm looking forward to doing more videos like this. There's a lot more that I'd like to share and talk about, and I'm looking forward to mixing things up. Hope you all have an amazing day and week, and I'll see you next week.